young people in America, there are very mixed messages from the culture. There's a streak of moralism in American life that extols the virtues of being grown up and having a family and being a responsible citizen. But there's also the sense of do what you want, gratify your appetites, because when I'm a corporation, appealing to the parts of you that are selfish and self-centered and want to have fun all the time is the best way to sell you things, right? And the point that emerges from that is that it's, I think, one more example of the American economic and cultural systems that work very well in terms of selling people products and keeping the economy thriving, do not work as well when it comes to educating children or helping us help each other know how to live and to be happy, if that word means anything. Clearly it means something different from whatever I want to do. I want to take this cup and throw it right now. I have every right to. I should. You know, I mean, that we see it with children. That's not happiness. That feeling of having to obey every impulse and gratify every desire it seems to me to be a strange kind of slavery. Nobody talks about it as such, though. It talks about freedom of choice, and you have the right to have things, and spend as much money and you can have this stuff. Again, saying it this way, it sounds to me very clear and very simple.
I'm not much of a prophet. I suppose the conflict between conservation and development will grow more intense each year with the pressure of a growing population and economic demands. That's all I can see in the future. There's more conflict, more arguments, more shouting. Possibly, if the economy stays in a recession long enough, the majority of us will gradually adapt to a simpler, a more frugal way of life and not make such enormous demands on the land and the air and the water. Doing without more things, giving up a lot of our gadgets, or making them so expensive that you have to choose. You can have a car or a pickup truck, but not both. That's kind of ridiculous. Things like that. A gradual, I wouldn't call it a reducing of the standard of living, but a simplifying of our way of living. And I think it'd be good for us. It'd be good for us to do more walking, or to ride bicycles to work and to school instead of driving a car. And all of us want to maintain our American standards of living. We like having these nice little houses and electricity, running water, cars and pickup trucks and motorboats. It's hard to give up all these technological toys.
like being grown up, or a term that's rarely used here anymore. And see, and now I feel embarrassment because I'm going to sound like my grandfather or something. But the word citizen, the idea of being a citizen, it would be to understand your country's history and the things about it that are good and not so good, and how the system works, and taking the trouble to learn about candidates for political office, which means often reading stuff, which it isn't fun. Sometimes it's boring. But when people don't do that, here's what happens. The candidates win who have the most money to buy television advertisements, because television advertisements are all most voters know about the candidates. Therefore, we get candidates who are beholden to large donors and become, in some ways, corrupt, which disgusts the voters and makes the voters even less interested in politics, less willing to read and do the work and do the work of citizenship. When I was a little boy, there was a class called citizenship, and here are certain things about America and America's history. Here's why it's important to vote. Here's why it's important not just to go in and vote for who the best-looking candidate is. Here's what's really interesting, and I don't know if you can translate this. Talking about this now, I feel ashamed, because my saying all this sounds to me like an older person saying this, like a person lecturing, which in American culture sets me up to be ridiculed. It would be very easy to make fun of what I'm saying. You know, it would be very, very easy to make fun of what I'm saying, and I can hear in my head a voice making fun of this stuff as I'm saying it. And this is the kind of paradox, I think, of what it is, of what it is to be a halfway intelligent American right now, and probably also a Western European, is that there are things we know are right and good and would be better for us to do, but constantly it's like, yeah, but, you know, it's so much funnier and nicer to go do something else, and who cares, and it's all bullshit anyway. Sorry.